Hello and welcome everyone back to Moneyball. We are going to be back today with a new episode, and we're going to be going through the months of September, October, November, and then December together, going into the January transfer window and going through all of our Moneyball transfers in the January transfer window too. So an exciting episode with a lot of stuff to come, and anything that we do in January will obviously be covered. Any transfers, anything like that, which I'm assuming we'll have to do maybe a few. We've still got, what have we got here? We've still got £10 million in transfer money to spend, don't forget. So there's absolutely guaranteed to be January transfer window activity in this episode. I guess it depends just how much, and it depends on a number of factors, of course. The first thing being, are we going to be in the chance to try and maybe win the league? This is how it stands right now. So as of right now, I would say we're not really in a title race. But then again, Anderlecht haven't dropped points at all yet. And if they do lose at any point, let's see if that rolls into 2, maybe 3 games in a row where they drop points, that kind of stuff, right? It's very early doors. We'll have to see how things will play out. We've had a very average start. So what I'm going to do, and I mentioned this in the very first episode, maybe episode 0 even, I'm not quite sure which one it was, but I did mention the fact that I didn't want to get involved and start selecting the team for as long as possible. I think having the head coach, select the team, it sort of gives the AI manager like a unique place in the series. It gives them something unique to, what we're watching together here. So I felt like that I needed to give the AI managers every single opportunity to help make this Moneyball system work before I stepped in and started selecting the team myself. Because once I start doing that, their effect on the whole thing is less and less, of course. So, and obviously, I'm not going to select the whole team. It's going to start off just being 1 or 2 players. I've already spoke about this quite at length, really, about how there is precedent for this in how Billy Beane approached the team. As I think in the film, they make it very obvious with the catch that they play in first base and all that kind of stuff, right? So there is precedent for us to get involved and help encourage the manager to select the right players at the very least. But obviously, we'll actually directly tell them that this player needs to play. And yeah, I didn't want to do it too early because I think once you start doing that, it's very hard to then stop. But I think that doing it in small bits and pieces, like if I've signed a player that has hit every single metric possible to play as a number 10, every single one, they're the perfect number 10, we sign them to play number 10, but then the assistant decides to play them on the wing and then play somebody that we bought to play on the wing as a number 10, it sort of goes against the whole logic of the project, right? But I didn't want to do that straight away because I wanted to see, because I thought from a series perspective, it was really good to see, and I wanted to see if the assistant manager would do at least well enough with that kind of stuff when we bought the players, then he would select them where we wanted them to be. But obviously that hasn't really happened so far. So what we're going to do here, and on top of that, right, that wasn't even the example that I think I was alluding to early on in the series. The example I was alluding to was, maybe we've got a player who's 25, 26, 27 years old, who's a decent player, but isn't amazing and isn't clearly going to improve. And the assistant manager then selects that player over the 18-year-old or 19-year-old that we've signed that's clearly hitting the metrics and clearly going to be like an absolute world-class player. What we didn't want to see was the assistant manager, because he favours that player by a tiny, tiny bit, he plays that player and ignores the other player because he's a tiny bit better, in his opinion, in that moment. And I wanted to avoid that, where it basically stunted the growth of the young players that we've got. But yeah, but in the specific examples too of like, we get a player that's absolutely outstanding on every single metric possible to play number 10. We bring him in and he plays him on the wing. They play somebody else number 10 who you think shouldn't be a number 10. Maybe they should be a pivot player or something else, right? Those kind of scenarios, I think that we gave it a chance with the first manager, and this is what brings me to the current manager. I'm going to give the current manager the whole of September to catch up and to the top of the league. If after September he's in a title race, he can continue to pick the team exactly how he wants. The point of the series was I wanted to give the managers every chance to do it first before I started stepping in myself. My gut feeling is the results would be better with me doing it, but I don't want to pick the whole team. I want it to be a bit fun. I want it to be fun, and we get like the head coach making a decision, having an impact in the series. I want that to be part of it a little bit, but there's a balance, right? I don't want him to have complete control where it completely ruins and makes the Moneyball concept pointless, and I don't want to pick the entire team for him. I want that to be somewhere in the middle. So if that's like the 2 ends of the spectrum, how far I want to go on the spectrum is going to be dependent on how the series goes, I guess. But at first we started off with like, let's just say this part here is like completely letting the assistant manager pick the whole team, right? That's where we've been. And now it's going to be a bit like maybe towards, maybe like a quarter of the way. We're going to pick 1 or 2 players. Then it'll be like maybe halfway. And then we'll get all the way, maybe eventually to picking most of the team if we have to, but I don't want to do that. We could say that we can pick one player per position. If we break it down to very simply defenders, midfielders, and strikers, or forwards, in a 4-3-3, it would be one player in the back line, one player in the midfield three, then one player in the front three. Maybe we can say in one player per unit, we can select a player ourselves, and then he gets to pick the rest. And the goalkeeper should be always self-explanatory, but maybe that could be an option too. Maybe we could do that as a rule in the series. Let me know what you think about that. I think that keeps it still fun of the AR manager having some sort of control and uniqueness to what he's doing, but also gives us an element of control. Like if there's one midfielder that is definitely central midfielder, going to be the best in the world, we want to see how he does in central midfield. It gives us the opportunity to select him there, but then it leaves all the other midfield positions open for him to select around it. So maybe that's the way to go, to sort of give a good balance of keeping it, logical to the Moneyball system, but fun too. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. Maybe we'll do something like that. But for now, I'm just going to holiday through. He's got his own opportunity. November 1st, we're going to review the situation and see if we need to step in and start making some decisions for the head coaches, because they clearly aren't getting the Moneyball system to how we want it to be. So we're going to come back in a few weeks. Let's come back 1st of November and let's see how we've done in the league. There's 5 league matches there. So we're going to come back on November the 1st. We're going to give the manager the whole of September and October. There's 5 league matches there plus a cup game. So he's going to get all those matches. We're going to come back on November 1st and we're going to see how he's done over the 2 months. If he's near the top of the league and he's in a title race, we'll leave it as it is for then November. We'll come back in December. If he's nowhere near it, we're going to step in and start making some decisions ourselves on who needs to get and play, who needs to play first base, who's playing second base, and who's playing third base. September, great. No problems there. September, 2 games, 2 wins. We're all celebrating. We're all very happy with that. October hits. Anderlecht at home. Anderlecht were top of the league, don't forget, at the time. Undefeated. It's a home defeat, okay, but you can live with it, right? Then 2 wins. Things are looking great. Still looking, relatively pretty good. Out the cup. What are we doing? In extra time, too. Let's take a look at this for a start. I'm not happy with this. I mean, look at the XG for a start. I'm not happy with that. In fact, where are these what league are they in? Are they in ours? I mean, so for those of you not familiar, that isn't 1 league below us. That is 2 leagues below us. That is, what the were we doing? That is the league below us, which they weren't in. So, keep calm. It's another year, no trophy. 3 years in, no trophies from the boys. I mean, the good news is we're going to be in the top group at the end of the season, as things stand, of course. But I've got to be honest, it looked like a pretty good time off camera until that cup defeat. What are we doing, man? Like, he's played a backup goalkeeper for a start. Is that because of an injury? It doesn't look like it. No, it was by choice. So by choice, he played Wessons and we lost. So cheers, Arbeloa, for that. All right, let's just take a look at the Anderlecht game briefly, the stats in this game. 1-0 defeat at home. XG-wise, neither team created too much. Okay, that's fine. We did okay, and that didn't mean the striker didn't have a best performance there. Let's take a look at their goal and see how their goal came about in the game of low XG between the 2 sides. Set piece, great. So there we are. I mean, is it time to get another set piece coaching again? I'm sorting it by minutes played. That's your team in minutes played. He likes Mateos, a new signing, which is good. Duarte, he likes. Polvera scored 5 and 12. In fact, I do want to quickly look at this because now playing Polvera as the striker this year. So the 2 stats that stand out, which are not good news for us from a striker's perspective, 0.61 XG overperformance and minutes per goal of 208 minutes. Like that's not brilliant. He's going to need to really up his game to be hitting the stats that we need for a striker. He really needs to be doing slightly better than that. So that's not good. A bit disappointing. One positive. If you look up the goals below this, there's quite a big spread in goals from the rest of the side, which is quite good. Like you've got Duarte, Farioli, Collado, players in those wings and number 10 positions behind the striker in the 4-2-3-1. And then you've got other players too below that, a centre-back and a full-back scoring a goal each too. So, yeah, we didn't learn too much from that, did we really? I mean, yeah. So we're gonna go through November. He's definitely on the right to continue his team selection in November to try and make up for that cup loss. The only way he can make this up to me, right, for the cup loss specifically, is if we challenge a title. We'd have to win it, just challenge it. If we end up in that top group and we don't really do anything, then I'll be disappointed with him I'm okay with us getting knocked out the cup, but it's like that, you took the risk yourself. Does he have a tendency for this? I didn't really check this. Does he have a tendency? He doesn't have a tendency to play like a weaker squad in the cups or anything. So, right, see you in December. Right, he's lost it. He's lost the trust of the board. He's not going to be picking the team anymore. Terrible, terrible November. 4 games, 4 defeats after the cup game that we got knocked out in, don't forget. So a really bad month for the manager. Leaves us in a not a great position. I mean, like, yeah, we're definitely stepping in. I don't care. I've had enough of this absolute shite, basically, we're seeing from the team. 3-0 defeat to Bruges. Like, no chances created whatsoever. Right, let's have a look then. Duarte Farioli's playing. Povera as a striker. Right. Povera was signed as the striker. He's going in there. Right, he's going to be the striker selection. That's fine. I guess technically we've got 4 positions. In a 4-3-1, we've got the back 4 pivots, attack midfielders, and the striker. So we've got catcher in 3 bases, I guess, with this team. I mean, in the middle areas, I mean, Hidalgo's not even being played. Has he been injured the entire time? Oh, he did. He got a broken leg. Oh, that's not good at all for our left winger. That's potentially a huge issue for us there. Varely's currently got an injury too, but he's going to be back. I mean, Nahal had unbelievable stats, didn't he? I'm going to put him as the right back and see how that goes as well. Hopefully he doesn't play him as inverted fullback, as it just said. And the rest can stay. So that's one. I mean, pivot players. I mean, I'm not going to select that because I think he's going to play the ones that he needs to. I mean, Ernst would be nice if he could improve a bit. It would be nice if Ernst got a few games too. I mean, if the season starts to go completely haywire, I think he's going to go into the pivot positions too. But let's go with that then. Let's pick those 3 players. Farioli obviously will be able to be selected in the next one. I'm not sure. I think Farioli playing as a 10 might be the only thing that changes once everybody's fit. I think that's what I'll do when everybody's fit, and that's only really going to change. I think the left winger and the right back when the left winger's fit. Those are the only 2 players that are going to change. The other 2 would have been there anyway. I can maybe take Povera out, actually, because, I mean, he'll get selected as striker anyway, and I guess I'm not too bothered if he doesn't at this rate, because he's not doing the business, is he? But I'll keep that in, I think, for the next one. Well, whenever Hidalgo goes back, he can come in for that. But for now, we'll just keep it on those 2. I'll just guarantee that Farioli does get played as a 10. In fact, has he been played as a 10 every game so far? Recent times, Farioli was there as well, because he's playing Duarte on the right, isn't he? So for now, Farioli is playing as a 10 anyway. So do you know what? Let's take that off as well. So I'm only forcing him to play the right back. That's all I'm asking him to do, is play the right back as the right back. Do you know what? Let's have a look at centre-backs here. If I was going to tell him to do one other thing, I'd probably ask him to play Aranda centre-back instead of Gonzalez. But for now, I'm not too bothered about that. That can stay as it is for now. Everything else looks pretty much fine. It's just that and the left winger when he gets back fit too. So for the month of December, that's all I'm going to ask him to do, is to do that. And we'll see how it goes. You'll join back with me after the 2 games in December, because I think by then, 2 weeks' time still, is he going to be fit to play? No, he's not. Do you know what? I guess I'll see you for the month of... I guess I'll see you at the end of the month. We'll do a proper mid-season review. We'll go through all the stats together, and they'll make some decisions on transfers in, transfers out, and crucially, who we're going to force the manager to play at that point. Because I think that maybe centre-back could be an option for us to force him to some selections too. But, yeah. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, maybe I can tweak my first, second, and third base theory thing to just being any 3 players, but only 3 at any one time. I can't ask him to play more than 3 players. Maybe I could do that rather than it being per, I guess, unit. Let me know what you think anyway. But I'll see you in December anyway, or at the end of it. And we will see how we are doing at the mid-season review and see what players we're going to be looking to sell and bring in. Okay, so a slight improvement in the month of December for results. We've got a defeat to start off with, which I wasn't getting too excited about after that game. And then a win against Ghent, who was second at the time, I believe. Antwerp win away from home. And then a draw at home against Leuven, who haven't had as good of a season this season as they did last. But yeah, puts us in a... I mean, there's clearly a top 4 and everybody else, isn't there? That's what it is right this second. But... I mean, we're in for a shout at being in that top 6, aren't we? So it gives us a chance. We've sort of recovered a little bit. And I guess I'll start looking to the stats. Quick look at the wing-back that we decided to force him to play. I'm just going to compare him to Samir just briefly here, because obviously this is the 2 wing-backs that we're looking at. That's the player that he replaced in the starting 11. So replaces Samir. So he replaces Samir. He has a dribbles per 90, basically the same. He's not completed a single cross yet. Progressive passes... is slightly higher. Chances created per 90, 0. Open play key passes per 90, 0.00. I mean, what are we doing? He's not really done too much any better than Samir, to be honest. It's interesting. I thought it might give us a bit of a spark in possession. Maybe he played him a different role. The answer to that was he did not. Looks like they're both playing relatively conservatively there, but there you are. Not too much difference between them. Looking back at Polvera now, looking at his stats here, his XG overperformance has gotten better, hasn't he? He's now up to 2.88, which is much better. His minutes per goal has gotten better too. That's really important for us. He's slowly getting better in his stats to where if he continues this trend and this uptick in performance across the entire season, he's going to have had a very good season for us. So I'm not too bothered about looking for a striker just yet. Well, if somebody very good comes available, of course we're going to buy them. And Polvera's stats are not worth £7 million. Let me tell you that right now. So if there's somebody available, we'll definitely bring them in. But it's not like we emergency need to bring in a striker. He's actually got an uptick in his performance right now. But he may revert back to what he was doing and be quite bad across the season, right? We don't know yet. But he looks like he has improved quite a bit, which I'm happy about. These are your team stats for the season so far. We're currently 5th in average possession. That's the highest we've ever been at this stage, or any time really, apart from maybe the first game of the season if we got a bit lucky on that. That's much better for us in terms of average possession. What's going to be interesting to note now is how high we are on the offensive stats, the in-possession stats, and if we are much lower on the out-of-possession stats too. So something to watch out for here. Expected goals for, we are 11th. Non-penalty XG, we are 12th. Okay. Not doing great on the goals from corners. Pass completion ratio, we're currently 5th. Conversion rate 10th. We're not converting our chances again. Every time we bring in a winger, they've got good conversion ratio, but it doesn't seem to translate into a good conversion ratio for us, it seems. Dribbles per game, we are currently 4th. Final third passes for per game, we are 8th. Okay, those are in possession stats. Let's look at some defensive ones now. Conceded from corners, 0. So at least the set piece coach has stopped us conceding from corners. That's definitely a positive. Expected goals against, that's the 3rd best in the league. So we are still, despite the changing manager, we are now getting just as good defensive performances from the team as we've ever done under the previous manager. But we keep the ball far more. We're getting far more average possession and we're creating more chances too. So really, from a data perspective, this has been a really positive season. A positive step forwards. It's not a leap forwards, but it's a step forwards. Now, the question has to be asked, what is the goalkeeper doing? So we've conceded 22, right? And we're supposed to concede 20. I tell you what, I mean, and also, if you include the 3 indirect free kick goals we've conceded, I mean, he's really done what he's expected to do, the goalkeeper, actually, looking at this. Let's just check the stats anyway on him. So our goalkeeper is highlighted in the list here. So I mean, his save ratio is 79%. Like, that's pretty good. To be honest, like, I don't really worry about that until it drops below 70. Like, that's really it. Like, I mean, he's doing okay. He's not amazing. He's basically just hitting par. That's what he's doing. He's hitting par. He's not getting any birdies for us. He's definitely not doing any of that. But he's hitting par. He's hitting par, and he's getting the odd birdie on a par 5 hole. So he's doing pretty much what's expected of him. It's not the goalkeeper. It's obviously in possession, right? It's what we're seeing already. Like, again, I mean, we're 3rd for clean sheets. Like, possessions 1. We're not even conceding any penalties this year. I mean, it's actually really frustrating, this. 4th for OPPDA, final third passes against per game. I mean, that's really disappointing. 2nd for total spend and 11th for team salary. Like, it's the attacking players, isn't it? That's what it is. So, I mean, what are we really low on in terms of the stats here? We're really low on conversion rate. I'd say that's the biggest one. Okay, some more metrics here to look at, some more stats. So the top 4 are basically in possession ones, the bottom 4 are out of possession ones from the team's perspective I guess you're referring to. So non-penalty XG, we're not in the top 6 for non-penalty expected goals, which we have to be basically looking to be in the top 6 for all these stats. We're not in the top 6 for that. Chances created, we're not in the top 6 for that. Shots on target, we're not in the top 6 for that. Conversion rate, we're not in the top 6 for that either. So that's 4 really important metrics that you would expect to be doing well in to win the league. We're in none of them. Opposition conversion rate. We're not on that, though. I guess that's a good thing, or not really. Shots faced per game. We're not facing that many shots. Shots on target per game. Average defensive line height per game in terms of yards. I mean, we have the 2nd highest defensive line, too, on average. So it's the same old story. It's chances created. It's conversion ratio. It's those 2 things. So I'm going to look for some attacking players in this transfer window. I'm going to look for a striker that has got unbelievable shots on target and conversion ratio, but I'm also going to make sure that he's had a lot of opportunities at it and at a good standard. We can look for an elite striker. On top of this, we're going to look for a midfielder / winger that's had good chances created, and then we're going to look for a separate winger if it's 2 wingers who has good chances created and good conversion rate. So elite striker, a midfielder or a winger with focusing on chances created more, and then a winger really on its own that has purely good conversion rate. Obviously, good other metrics too, but conversion rate is the thing we're going to focus on. So let's go and have a look at some of this right now and see what we can get in. We've got a lot of money to spend, don't forget. We're down to £9.47 million. I had to put some into the scouting budget. And let's make sure the wage budget is slightly higher too. So we've got 58 grand on that. 3 players on just below 20 grand a week each. That's what we're looking for here. If we need to spend that much wages on them, obviously, hopefully, we do not. So the first place that I'm going to look is my own shortlist. So Oviedo here has a shot on target ratio of 44%, which is really good. Conversion ratio of 22%, that's pretty good too. I like the look of him as a start point. Who's he wanted by now? Norwich want him, apparently. He's doing it again in the Argentine Premier Division, and his team are currently third. So he's doing pretty well. He is being played as a striker, though. When you look at his stats as a striker, it's not quite as good. And there's nobody else really in the attacking areas that's got impressive stats for this, is there? So I think we're going to have to move on from the shortlist already. Okay, I think I found someone. The strikers, there was absolutely nobody that I could see for striker that was even remotely close to what we're looking for and for a good price. There's maybe one player that was okay, but they wanted like 7 million for him, so it was a non-starter. Frank Suarez plays in our league. Great start. Dribbles per 90 of 3.74. Fantastic. Great start. Sprints per 90, off the charts. Great. Shot on target ratio, 54%. Conversion ratio, 27%. And for a winger, the conversion ratio we're looking for is 13%. Shot on target ratio is 43%. So he's well above on both. He does it in our own division, so our own standard of football. So I'm going to try and buy him. He plays for AA Ghent. He's been here for a couple of years too. Had a really good season last season in terms of assists. I'm definitely going to look to bring him in and see how much we can get him for. He has a minimum fee release clause of 4 million, so we know more than that, which is really good news. Let's go like 2, half his release clause, see if they accept that. Yeah, so look at the squad. I think that if we sign that one winger, I think that if he signs, Hidalgo comes back from injury, so plays on the other wing. That's 2 new wingers to play, and then we can play Farrelly down the middle. That should hopefully be enough. That's effectively 2 new signings, isn't it? Hidalgo comes back from injury, the right winger joins 2. Hopefully those 2 signings, effectively signings, will make the difference for our team. That's what I'm hoping anyway, is gonna do it. The strikers, I can't find anybody remotely close for the stats that's willing to come to us. There's nobody that I can see right now. I think if we've got any more room to get any more scouts in, no, I might ask for some more scouts. I've just asked the board for some more scouts, so they give me a couple more to get some more players in. But yeah, not looking good in terms of bringing players in that we need. So I think that's probably going to do that. Defensively, we're doing fine. We're doing absolutely fine. The only thing you could maybe look at is bringing in a new attacking right back, and then you could let either Samir or Nail go and cash in on them. Like Samir is worth 1.3 to 3.6. We signed him for 2.1. He has interest in him. It could be a good opportunity to move him on and just try somebody different at right back and see if we can get a little spark out of the back line in terms of creativity. Because both right backs have not been very creative, but I do think Arbeloa has been playing an inverted fullback at right back, so there is that to think about too. But yeah, so that's all that's been going on really so far. I mean, I might see what can we get for him. We can almost make a profit on him. I don't feel like he's really offering us much, is he? I want to see Nail get an opportunity now. I'm going to sell Samir, I think. I've offered him out for nothing up front and 2.2 million over a couple of years, because then that way what that does is we don't really need the transfer budget right now. We've got enough really to get the players we need, but then financially what would be good is that'll be some consistent money coming into the club, almost basically replace the European money that we're not getting right now over the next few transfer windows. Hopefully we get back into the transfer. Hopefully we get back into Europe this season too. But yeah, I think that'll do for now. I mean, Paul Victor was somebody who was getting unbelievable stats, wasn't he, last year? Playing as a striker. I'll tell you what, let's give Paul Victor a go as a striker for a few matches. Let's see if he can do a job there. We'll keep Nail at right back for the January matches that are coming up. Cabellos is out for 3 weeks, but that's only 3 weeks. We've got 2 other players there that can play centre-back, plus Samir Khan until he leaves, and then the new player is going to be here as a backup not long after that too. So let's see how that gets on. Also, Diego Hernandez's loan is up in a few days' time, so he'll be back with us too. Okay, let's go through January. Let's negotiate the contract with the new player. Let's sell Samir, and let's just see where things end up going towards the end of the window, and see if anybody else becomes available that we like maybe on the short list. If anybody becomes a better deal. Bialek was a really good option for us a couple of seasons ago, but the problem is that he's basically not played for 2 years. So it's really hard to know if he's still going to be the player. Maybe it's the first time we do a loan deal to sort of, try him out for a bit and see if he's any good for us. Because then if he's on loan and we don't think he's worth it, we don't need to commit our money to him. Maybe this is the way to go. If he's a striker and he hits the metrics that we want, £2.9 million is definitely worth it. So maybe let's try that. Just a bit of news here. When our Moneyball signings, Fabio Mateus got he finished third in the Belgian Young Player of the Year award. So that's pretty good for Mateus. He joined us for £2.5 million and he's managed to get himself third in Young Player of the Year. So fair play to him. That's really good to see from one of our players. And our goalkeeper finished second, so it's definitely the goalkeeper's fault that we're conceding these goals. Like I said, we had a look at it. It's not the goalkeeper. We judged him by his stats, by the team stats, team goals. Not the goalkeeper, not really the back line, not even the defensive part of the team. It's all the in possession part of the team that's letting us down. Apparently, Cerdes wants about 17 grand a week, so we'll offer him that. You're not going to get that. I'll get you knocked down to that. I'm worried that he's going to sign a new contract with his current club if we don't offer him enough to entice him. I think that's about all I want to give him, really. I don't want to give him too much more than that. We're really breaking the wage structure for him. In fact, maybe too much. We're breaking it for him. So from that, right, he's going to join for 14.7. Like I said, we've got 3 players that we can sign all for. As long as it's under 20 grand a week, I'm okay with that for now. That's going to be much bigger than that's going to be a much larger wage to the next nearest player now on 9.7. So it's like there was like an artificial cap of 7.5 the first season. The second season it was about, maybe just under 10, and now we're going up to like 15, which is fine, but we need to get some European football to help pay for this. We can't keep selling players to pay for these wage increases. Well, we can and we will, but we need European money too, is what I'm saying. Okay, so Frank Cerdes does join us for £4.1 million when it includes the agent fees and all that kind of stuff too. So in he comes, £4.1 million, really good signing, top level winger in our own division, which is really good to see. Let's take a quick look at his reports. They think he's got a bit of pace, a bit of agility, which is good to see. Doesn't feel comfortable playing in big matches apparently too, but we'll see how he gets on. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the first team with the current team. He's also quite tall for a winger, 6'2", so he should be good at the back post for some headers. I mean, we do currently have an offer for Samir for £2.2 million, so hopefully he should be gone. We've also got Diego Hernandez being offered out too to some clubs, so we'll get some more money back into the club too. And that might be it in terms of transfer activity for the window. We'll have to see. Okay, so that's the second time Bialek has turned us down and done something else. The first time, he signed a new contract with his current club. Now, the second time, he's gone and joined Heerenveen on loan instead of us. So after 2 times of us potentially getting him and he turned us down, Bialek, you've missed your opportunity to join the Moneyball team. You can go somewhere else. Don't care about you. See you later. Okay, so let's see how the manager gets on with his team in the first game in January against Westerlo. We'll go through a game at a time here together. Well, I'll also bring you up to date on any player transfer activity that happens too. But right now, I don't think there's going to be anything too much. I'm assuming he's going to play Cerdes, but I guess just to be sure, let's get him on, let's say the right wing. And then he can play, hopefully, Hidalgo on the left. I'm hoping what he does, he plays Hidalgo on the left, and then Farioli in there as a 10. He's not using Carlsbach at all from the start, always from the bench. It does sort of make... I do feel like we've got one too many players now in that position. But we'll see anyway. Okay, let's see how we get on in the first game against Westerlo. Currently, where are they? They are currently 9th. That is a few places behind us. So we managed to get a 2-1 win. Hidalgo, back from injury, scores 2 goals on his return to the team. Was obviously missed on that left-hand side there. And I'm assuming, yeah, there we go. Farioli, that's what you want. That's the 3. Behind the striker, that's what you want. Good team selection there. The right back was on a 6.6. I have a feeling he was playing as an inverted fullback. We'll watch a game in today's episode together, and we'll see if the fullback on the right-hand side is playing as an inverted fullback. Pretty much all the time, which would be interesting to see. But I like this 3 behind the strike. I think this 3 behind the strike will give us our best chance to win continuously and throughout the season. One thing to note, actually, Polvera did get Player of the Month for December. So he hasn't got great stats, but he had good stats towards the back end of the season. Well, back end of the first half of the season. So I do feel like maybe I should play him instead, at least for the rest of this window. At least give him a chance to continue his good form, because if he was to continue January how he played December, he's going to end up with like 24 games, maybe 15, 16 goals, and all of a sudden it looks slightly better, doesn't it? So let's give him the rest of January, and then we've also got the opportunity to go back to using Paul Victor as a striker if we want to. But let's go with that for the rest of the January transfer window, and let's see how we get on. No more activity to show you just yet. So far, the players that we wanted have gone. Sammy has gone for £2.2 million, by the way. There's your players out. Signing for 2.1. He's gone for 2.2. Played a decent role for us. Was okay towards the back end of last season. And the beginning of this season was okay. It wasn't great. And he's gone for a small profit there. Diego Hernandez came in. Played a bit of a role a couple of seasons ago. He came in a couple of seasons ago and had an okay time with us. was bought for 250, sold for 725. Again, another little profit there, which is always good to see whenever you can do it. That currently leaves us with a total spend of nearly minus 30 million. Like, what are we doing here? We basically made the club 30 million. And I think we've improved the team on paper, but results haven't reflected that just yet. But we'll see what happens the rest of this season and this window. Apparently, Club Brugge want our set-piece coach. I mean, that's fine. You can have him if you want him. Oh, okay. He wants to stay. I mean, like, he wants to stay, but we've scored 2 from corners. We haven't conceded any. I mean, let's roll the dice. Let's see what happens. Okay, another win. 2-0 win against Brugge here. We're slightly lower down in the tables, but it's another win. Two wins in a row. A 2-0 win. Polvera scoring again, which is good to see. Let's have a look at the team that he played. He played, again, same thing on the again, the same 3 behind the striker, which is getting us the win. Same pivot players. Nice from the back line too. I just want to see who's the backup pivot player, Ernst. But I mean, if he comes in, he's not as good as the other 2 apparently, but he's a young prospect, right? I mean, I'm getting to a stage where, do I ask him to get played as well? I feel like we need to see some stats populated by Ernst to see if we can see if he's going to be any good for us. We'll give him the next 2 matches and see how that plays out. I'm also slowly improving the coaching staff too as we go here. Okay, there's a lot of offer coming in for my backup left back, John Catalano, who we signed on a free transfer. I'm going to offer him out for $1 million straight up and see what we can get for him. And then if I can replace him with one of the left backs on the shortlist for less than $1 million, I'll do the transfer or even close to $1 million, because then they can come in. Both the left backs on my shortlist are 3 years younger or more than Catalano, and I feel like it'd be a nice sideways move. Keep the money rolling into the club, get a younger player in, and just sort of keep it moving along. So we're going to let Catalano go and bring in a backup for him on the left-hand side. Okay, so Helder Sarr, who looked really good, don't forget, and actually looked at him as a first-choice player, he would come in for 950 grand, and then it's like 100 plus something grand if he plays 50 matches. So it's initially a deal that's cheaper than the player we're selling, but it could be slightly more. But if it gets to that stage, and he's become our first-choice fullback, then it was worth it, right? So let's get him on that. You're not getting this, mate. You can have relegation release clause of basically what we paid you for. So in case we go down, you can have that. Minimum fee release clause, if we get 975, you can leave for that too. He's not quite happy with that, but he wants this. You can have that. Okay, he's taking that. 3-0 win. Look at this. We're on a roll here. And don't forget, this team were 6th currently, I think, in the league when we looked at them. It's another win and another 2 goals for Polvera. He's really banging in the goals now. Suarez managed to get himself an assist there too. We're looking slightly better in possession in terms of, well, at least the goals we're scoring. Ernst got a 7.7 match rating, which was really good to see. So he's been able to hold his own. He's going to get the next game against Beerschot. I might take him back out the team for the Anderlecht game. In fact, we may watch this game together, because it'll be the first game after the January transfer. And I'll tell you what, we'll end today's episode by watching the game against Anderlecht. Anderlecht, who are currently 3rd, but they were top for quite a long time. They were undefeated, don't forget, for so long in the season 2. So we'll watch our game together, and I might take out Ernst from being forced to be chosen. Maybe the manager plays him anyway, we'll see. But I think I'll take him out from being forced in that game, and I'll probably resume him being forced again for the rest of this point of the season anyway. So let's carry on for the window and see how the transfers end up leading into that game and the game against Beerschot too. Okay, so Campos was complaining he wasn't getting played enough at his current club. So I've managed to get off of him for £1 million for a player that massively underperformed in his stats and hasn't done too well out on loan either. Getting £1 million from him would be incredible. We're going to probably lose just about money on him in total, but getting out of this deal with nearly a minor loss is going to be the best thing that we could have hoped for. So watch this space. Okay, some absolutely brilliant business on the last day of the transfer window. We managed to bring in Helder Sarr for £1.1 million maximum in total, and we sold John Catalano for £1.5 million. That's our backup left back we've been able to sell for £1.5 million. We brought him in on a free transfer. We sold him for £1.5 million. What a brilliant bit of business that was. He was used for backup, played a few matches for us, came off the bench, did okay. But £1.5 million is an absolutely huge amount. And to replace him for less than that is just brilliant business. And it's the kind of deals we're going to have to make to keep the club financially afloat, especially while we don't make it into European competition. So I'm really happy with that. Really good bit of business. And Campos' deal hasn't been done just yet either. I actually wonder who he's going to play left back, because according to the coach report, Helder Sarr and Pereira both are equal players, or very close to being equal. So I'm very interested to see who he plays out of those two at fullback. And we won 2-1 off camera. I actually completely missed the game. We actually won 2-1 as well. It was another good performance from the team. Ernst's got another good rating. That's good to see. Again, that 3 behind the striker playing well. Povera didn't play well and didn't score this game, but that's fine. He's going to have the odds game where he doesn't. And an assist for the right back. So it's nice to see the right back get himself an assist too. Good to see. And a 2-1 win at home. Right, that is going to conclude the January transfer winners. So the transfers are now done. What we're going to do now, we're going to skip through to the Anderlecht game. We're going to play that game together, watch it together. And we're going to see if Arbeloa can get his first win post-January transfer window against Anderlecht away. Big game for us. I've not actually looked at the league table in a while, so I should probably look at that. We've got ourselves back up there, haven't we? In fact, do you know what? We've got ourselves a nice little gap now between us and the team behind us. Looking pretty healthy there, so really good stuff. Happy for the team. Have we scored from set pieces yet, or from corners? Not yet, but we will. I assure you we will soon. Right, okay, I'll see you for the game against Anderlecht. Okay, here we go then. It is time for the game against Anderlecht. Nothing too much directly on the line in this game, but if we were to win, we get up to 47 points, right? They're only on 52. All of a sudden, it's getting pretty close to catching Anderlecht and AA Ghent if we can win this game, because it's a big game against a direct rival here, away from home, and let's see how we can do in this one. But yeah, interesting to see how we get on. Hoping for the best. Come on, boys. Okay, so your team is going to be João in goal with Pereira, Cabellos, Gonzalez, and Misato across the back. Mateus and Muller pivots. Farioli's 10. Hidalgo and Suarez. I was going to say Suarez then. Suarez wide, and Polvera is going to go up front against the big 5-3-2 of Anderlecht. Come on, boys. First highlight of the half. It's going to be a corner. Far post. Polvera goes up. Keeper saves. It's going to be cleared away. The new set piece coach nearly got his first set piece goal, at least on camera. And that is going to probably be that. Going to get whipped in again. Muller takes the corner. Plays it into the box. Goes far post again. Polvera goes up at the ball and it goes over the bar. Half time, 0-0. Only one corner highlight to show you so far. Okay, this might be interesting to see if we use an inverted fullback or not here. He doesn't look like it there. I mean, I don't think he would be here as an inverted fullback. I think he'd be maybe more towards this area and they'd be slightly further around. So he's not playing an inverted fullback right now, I don't think. As we turn over the ball though. And they're going to try and counter us with their 5 at the back. They've got a completely free wing back here who's going to take the ball. He's going to progress with it. He's going to play it into the middle. They're going to get potentially a highlight here. Goes through the striker, gets nailed, but they go through anyway. They go through and they score. It's going to be 1-0 to Anderlecht. Disappointing. And yeah, just for confirmation here, we have got 2 fullbacks as the 2 fullback roles, which is nice to see. It's not an inverted fullback on either side, which, yeah, I thought so. It looked like it. 2 wing. It's interesting. He's gone very symmetrical. He's gone 2 fullbacks, 2 wingers. Very classic. Corner for the opposition, whipped in. Headed away. Pereira's going to hit this maybe on the counter. Are we going to get a highlight? No, we're not. Hidalgo was sort of running through there. Now they're going to get a chance instead. They go through, they shoot. Keeper, I think, might have got a hand on that. Goes and hits the post, and it's going to be cleared away. Final 2 minutes of the game. Are we going to get a highlight? Is there going to be a last-minute highlight? There is not going to be one, is there? No, it finishes 1-0 to Anderlecht. We didn't have a single highlight, I don't think, for us in possession, so that's not good. But, I mean, that can happen against the top sides away, right? It can happen. So, I'm not going to hold too much against him. He had a very good month, did the manager. The team did pretty well as well. So, that leaves the league table looking like this. 25 games played for us, 13 wins, 5 draws, 7 defeats, 44 points, and leaves us currently on course to finishing in the top group for us, going into the championship group. So, yeah, looking okay. It's been a very positive, I would say, couple of months. December and January, both very, very good for results. Very good. I guess overall, really, goals scored has been relatively good. We seem to have maintained our defensive structure too, which is obviously good to see. So coming up, we play against 15th, 12th, 1st, 8th, and 7th. So you would say relatively good fixtures as well. We should be able to maintain some decent form going into those games. And yeah, so when we come back next time, you'll come back and join me on the same date. We'll come back on this exact day. And then we'll see how the final 5 games of this part of the season go, see if we get ourselves into the championship group, and then see if we can get ourselves a European place after that. I feel pretty good about it right now. I'm going to maintain that he still starts at least a couple of players. I'll probably take Polvera out because I think he'll start him anyway. And if he doesn't, he's probably going to start Paul Victor in there, which I'm also happy with, him giving him a chance as well. So I'm really happy either way with that. I just want to make sure that he plays Cerdes on the right-hand side, which then means that he'll probably then play Hidalgo on the left, which is really good. That's a nice balance between the 2 players. He's then playing Farioli as the 10, which is really good as well. We're getting a nice balance of the team now. And the right back, Nail's got in there, and he's just been like a duck to water. Absolutely brilliant. Straight into the team, doing really well. Having pretty good match ratings, and he's improving all the time. And the player that he replaced, to be fair now, Nail's dribbles per 90 has gone up to 1.97. Maybe a change in role from the manager to go from inverted fullback to fullback on the right-hand side. But he's definitely doing better in possession now than Samir, it feels like. But he's definitely got more potential now to do better than Samir at right back, which will be interesting to keep track of. His progressive passes per 90 have gone up as well as his dribbles per 90. So definitely something to watch out for. I feel like that the team could be slightly better at this stage if transfers would have gone slightly better for us so far. But then again, we've also done very well financially to put ourselves in the financial situation that we are. But the most important thing is that we buy wins. We need to buy wins, get ourselves some trophies, and make some more progress. But yeah, I'll see you next time for this. Next episode, we will come back. We will do this part of the season, finish that off. We'll then finish off the championship, maybe watch a couple of the matches as we go in towards the end of the season, some of the crucial ones, and then we'll do an end of season review, go through all the stats, and maybe start our scouting. I'm never sure whether to do the scouting at the end of this episode coming up or the one after, the start of the one after. It depends on how long the video seems like it is. Like if there isn't too much to show you in the next episode, I'll probably do the review, then maybe do some of the scouting and start the transfers in this episode after. It really depends on how the videos sort of fall, I guess, really. But anyway, that's going to do us for now. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the series, and I'll see you all, of course, next time.